In this episode of Falmouth in Focus, to commemorate Women's History Month, we find out more about one of Falmouth's most notable historical women. We hear more about a new mobile outreach van from the AIDS Support Group of Cape Cod, and the Falmouth Service Center takes us inside their thrift store. All this and much more on this edition of Falmouth in Focus.
Hello and welcome to Falmouth in Focus, FCTV's current affairs program. I'm Michael Kasparian.
And I'm Queen Carberry Banda.
Just a reminder to stay informed on the latest local, state, and federal COVID guidance with regular briefings by Falmouth's health agent Scott McGann on FCTV, Government Channel 15, our Facebook page, and fctv.org.
It is time now for FCTV's condensed version of the takeaways from the recent municipal meetings. Selections are chosen based on community impact.
The search for a new town manager is nearing completion. This past Monday, the town manager selection committee reported to the select board. They had narrowed the field from an original 37 candidates down to 3 finalists. Chair of the selection committee, Keith Schwagel, reiterated the selection criteria and revealed the last 3 finalists' names for the board to make the ultimate hiring decision.
So in the end, what we looked at when we went through all the 37 applicants, the first thing we did was look at their qualifications and how they met the qualification requirements in the Home Rule Charter. And that's how we started it. And we narrowed it down to 10 interviewees. 1 female, 2 black males, 7 Caucasian males. So we ended up with that, and we did our interviews, and we, as I think you may have read in the memo already that we sent you, how we approached that with the 5 areas. I believe that we focused on the 5 critical areas: chief municipal officer experience and background, financial management knowledge and experience, management style, experience and background with the Falmouth-type community, and qualifications and experience dealing with issues and programs similar to that in Falmouth.
Just to kind of wrap this up, I just want to let people know what our next steps are. So tentatively on Sunday, March 16th, from around 9 o'clock until 1 p.m., the select board will be having individual one-on-one meetings with the candidates, with the 3 of them. Not as a committee, it's not a public meeting, it's simply that we will have one-on-one interviews. Also, on Sunday, March 26th, from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. here in the Select Board meeting room, we're going to have a meet and greet with the candidates. That will be a posted meeting, even though we won't have any business at that time. But that will be open to the public for anyone to come meet the candidates, ask them questions. It's more of a social event. And then the Select Board meeting on March 27th, we will be interviewing each of the candidates. The public is welcome to come. However, the public will not be interviewing the candidates. That's for the board. And then we will have, and that will be in the Herman Room at the library. And then we will close that meeting and we will have a business meeting the same night at 6:30.
2 of the 3 final candidates are from out of state, but there is one name that should be familiar to Falmouth viewers. Acting Town Manager Peter Johnson Staub is also a finalist for the town manager position.
To see the meetings in their entirety, check out Government Channel 15's program schedule at fctv.org.
After a short break, we'll be back with a look at a new mobile outreach program helping to prevent disease. Stay with us.
For 40 years, the Cape and Islands Veterans Outreach Center has been singularly dedicated to providing comprehensive, life-sustaining services for veterans and their families on Cape Cod and the islands.
My name is Carrie Dobson, and I'm the case manager at Cape and Islands Veteran Outreach Center. I triage the needs of the veteran, which in some cases is addressing food insecurity, housing instability, lack of or inadequate medical and mental health care, or other chronic acute needs. We work closely with other community agencies to make sure the veteran is connected to services that may help with their specific needs. We provide wraparound weekly case management services to all of the veterans in our transitional housing program to help them not only find their permanent housing, but maintain it.
Hi, my name is Dr. David Mishkin. I'm a neuropsychologist and I employ best practices to help veterans, their spouses, and their families to develop skills to respond to challenges in their lives. The sessions are not limited to a given number or duration. My schedule is flexible and I work hard to accommodate all veterans and their families, but I cannot take walk-in appointments for veterans. I utilize mindful-based therapies, including learning mindful meditation, which is a main component in what we offer. Studies have shown that cultivating a regular meditation practice offers a host of benefits, including reduced anxiety, increased sense of well-being, heightened creativity, improved immune functioning, better memory, and improved decision-making.
Public health officials insist that the best way to prevent disease is to stop it before it can start or spread.
That's the mission of the AIDS support group of Cape Cod and their mobile van. You may have seen it parked around town.
Yes, so FCTV went inside to learn more by speaking with the president and the CEO, Dan Gates, and the program manager, Bridget Volk.
Hi everyone, my name is Dan Gates. I'm the president and CEO at the AIDS support group of Cape Cod. I am here with Bridget Volk.
Hi everyone, my name is Bridget Volk. I'm the program manager for the Falmouth site of the AIDS support group of Cape Cod, including the mobile outreach vehicle, which we are on today.
And we have offices throughout the Cape, from Provincetown to Falmouth and Martha's Vineyard. But what we're on today is our mobile outreach van, which we're really excited about. We started providing harm reduction services and sexual health services with sites in Falmouth again in 2020, so during COVID. And what we were able to do is get this mobile outreach van on the road, which serves the whole community. We are in one of two offices that are on this van. And in these offices, we do all of our sexual health screenings, but we also do our syringe services, our Narcan distribution and trainings, and we also do screenings for things like testing fentanyl and other services related to that. So if it makes sense for everyone, why don't we have a little bit about our harm reduction services and talk about that?
Sure. So we provide overdose education and Narcan training. We will do that on the van on spot. We also go to different places in the community and provide that training. So what that does is it educates people about what an opioid overdose looks like, how to respond to it using nasal naloxone, which is brand name Narcan. And we also provide fentanyl test strips, which have become increasingly popular. We found that there's a lot of fentanyl in the drug supply and things other than what is presumed to be heroin. Most of that, in fact, it has been fentanyl for many years now. So we're getting reports of fentanyl found in cocaine, methamphetamine, pressed pills, and things like that. And we don't provide that information to scare anyone. We just want people to be educated. And we want drug users or regular people to make informed decisions and to be safe with whatever they do choose to do. So the fentanyl test strips will screen for fentanyl and any sort of substance. We have kits that we hand out that have the test strip. It has a little printout of instructions. It has different supplies, water to be able to test your supplies. And we have people who ask for them frequently. And I find whenever we talk about them with people, they become interested and want to know more about them.
And then the part of the reason we're so focused on our harm reduction work, in addition to our sexual health work, is a lot of people don't realize that last year the country set a bad record, which was the highest number of overdose deaths in the country at over 108,000 people last year. So a lot of the reason that overdose deaths have increased over the years is as the opioid epidemic increased, as Bridget just mentioned, fentanyl entered the drug stream. And fentanyl has a very different overdose impact than traditional opioid overdoses would. And the short version of it is that with fentanyl, the overdose hits very suddenly. So what's very important is to make sure that anyone who's using drugs has access to Narcan. So all of our Narcan services are free. when people come in, they get Narcan for free, they get a training on how to use it, and they get doses. And you can also give it to people who are with people who use drugs, or even business owners in town who just want to make sure they're prepared, because you want to make sure your whole circle has Narcan. It's a really big part of our service. I think we did about 6,000 doses last year. Yeah, about 6,000 doses. So it's really a significant thing. And what's wonderful is what Bridget and the team have come up with is we have such a mobile program that if someone needs services but transportation's a barrier, we can find areas to meet with them and bring services to different parts of the community where people are asking for it, which has been really impactful.
The AIDS Support Group of Cape Cod reminds viewers their health screenings and services are free and confidential, and insurance is not required.
The van parks at the Falmouth Service Center every Wednesday from 3 to 5 p.m. and the first and the third Friday of every month from 10 a.m. to noon.
This week, we took a look at the Falmouth Service Center's thrift shop, Hand in Hand.
Located on Sandwich Road, Hand in Hand proceeds are used to fund the work done at the Service Center.
We're in the Hand in Hand thrift shop on 141 Sandwich Road in East Falmouth. We are the #1 provider for the Falmouth Service Center.
Every day is different. A lot of it goes into making sure that we have enough volunteers to staff not only the front of the house, which is the retail area, and we have the staff to process our donations that come in. The whole idea is that we have new things that come out all the time, and we're moving product and creating revenue for the service center. So we have some volunteers that like to just be in the retail area, and we have many, many volunteers that cross-train. They'll be in the retail area, and then they'll come back here and they'll do clothing sorting or clothing pricing, or they'll research housewares for us, artwork.
I have always been a lover of collectibles and art, and I'm fortunate because I got put in the art and research department when I joined as a volunteer. So essentially I look up items that might be rare or a little different, look up pieces of art that might be collectible in some ways, and price them.
So we go to our sorting stations for our clothing. Gets sent to our sorting stations, and our volunteers coordinate them, go through the bags, pull out the nicer things, make sure everything's clean, neat, buttons, zips, everything is attached, and they get put into totes by category: women's, men's, kids. And we also provide for the Falmouth Service Center for their clothing room. So once it goes into the bin, they get labeled and put into storage until they get priced and steamed, which could take a week to a day, depending on what we need at the time. Every day we have someone that comes in to price and steam clothes to put out onto the sales floor.
Well, except for the 3 paid workers, Hand in Hand is run entirely by volunteers.
Visit their Hand in Hand thrift shop Facebook page to learn more. After the break, we'll visit a local fair honoring student skills in science and more. Stay with us.
For 40 years, the Cape and Islands Veterans Outreach Center has been singularly dedicated to providing comprehensive, life-sustaining services for veterans and their families on Cape Cod and the islands. The Cape and Islands Veterans Outreach Center has a food pantry to help veterans and their families to address challenges faced by food insecurities and hunger. We have a food distribution center at 223 Stevens Street in Hyannis, open every Thursday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. to pick up fresh produce, canned goods, chicken, pork and beef, toiletries, and other necessities. In addition, our mobile food pantry goes to the AMVETS Post 70 in Falmouth every first and third Tuesday of the month, and the Elks Lodge in Eastham on the second and fourth Tuesday of the month. Every third Wednesday of the month, we are at the American Legion in Vineyard Haven. If you are a homebound veteran and unable to drive, we also have a home delivery program.
Welcome back.
The community of Falmouth turned out for this year's 45th annual Falmouth STEAM Fair at Falmouth High School.
short for science, technology, engineering, art, and math. Students, teachers, families, and the local science community joined together on March 11th for the event at Falmouth High School. Here's more.
The Falmouth STEAM Fair is a celebration of science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. It's 45 years in the running. It's not only a celebration of our students from K through 12. We have projects here from kindergarten all the way up through 12th grade. This event is a great opportunity for the community to share what they're doing in STEAM, science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics, with our students and with other members of the community as well.
For our project, we decided to test how different sports affect heart rate. First, we tested running, and after running about a mile, the heart rate went up almost 100 beats per minute, and it took about 7 minutes for it to return.
My project was on the coefficient of friction, and so basically what I did was I used this block of wood with sandpaper and plastic to determine which one had the higher coefficient of friction. And we found that sandpaper had the highest coefficient of friction due to its rough and unstable surface.
This is Associates of Cape Cod. We're manufacturers of LAL, which is a reagent used to test for pharmaceuticals. Anything injected into the human body needs to be tested for gram-negative bacteria, and we're manufacturers of that assay that's used around the world. The raw material for that is horseshoe crab blood, and interestingly enough, this is a process that was invented right here in Woods Hole by Stanley Watson. Licensed by the FDA in the 70s, and this is now the world, or the gold standard around the world for testing for endotoxins.
It's so exciting to see everyone here at Falmouth High School for the STEAM Fair. We appreciate everyone being here, and for all the students that have such exciting research projects and learning so much. And to all of our vendors and our partners that are here, we very much appreciate this. Is so exciting to see the kids so engaged.
Thanks to Ryan Weber for that report. Moving on, March is Women's History Month. To commemorate the month, we decided to learn more about Falmouth's most famous historical woman, Catherine Lee Bates.
Yes, scholar, writer, and poet, author of America the Beautiful. Bates was born right here in Falmouth back in 1859. I sat down with another prominent Falmouth woman, artist Karen Rinaldo, whose portrait of Kathleen Lee Bates is on display at the museums on the Green. For a woman so prominent such as her, when you are trying to distill that, all that information into a painting, what do you focus on?
Well, Catherine had a diverse life, and she had, and you'll see in the painting, there are a couple of pets, and one is a collie dog by the name of Hamlet. Over her shoulder, you'll see a parrot, and the parrot's name was Polonius. The other aspects in the painting incorporate a couple of the lines from America the Beautiful, amber waves of grain. You can see the gold color in the background, and then you can see Purple Mountain's majesty. There's the church steeple, Congregational Church steeple in the right-hand corner, where her father was the pastor. The lower portion of the piece, you see the Catherine Lee Bates house, and the statue that is on the grounds in front of the Falmouth Library also is very prominent. Knobsco light for the sea to shining sea element is in the painting. There's a section where you see some books that are piled in the corner. It just going to the point of how prolific she was as a writer. You see a wagon that would be representing the trail perhaps going up to Pikes Peak. Now it's interesting, Pikes Peak is where she had the inspiration for America the Beautiful, and then come along with, and who was the composer of the song America the Beautiful, Samuel Augustus Ward. He had been on a ferry boat going from one point of Coney Island to New York City, and had composed a piece that then would be used for America the Beautiful. So it was interesting. You had one person inspired from a mountaintop, and another person inspired from a ferry cruise, composed it in his head.
Wonderful.
Yeah, interesting collaboration. And both of them, in that collaborative spirit, they never met each other. But the piece of work went on to be the anthem. I mean,
Yes.
it holds all of the values and the ideals of our country. And you know, we should be so proud to have evidence of her work and her time, and the feelings that she had about the country. I mean, she held that patriotic spirit as a young person, and she loved Falmouth, and she's written several poems about Falmouth. So if anyone has an opportunity to delve into the life of an American, a true-spirited patriot, I would suggest Catherine Lee Bates is a great topic.
When you were painting, what was that experience like for you?
You know, I totally submerge myself in the essence of the person and that spirit of the person. And the center focus shows Catherine in her gown. It typifies many of the photographs that you've seen of her.
How do you channel her spirit?
Through my work and through her philosophy and a do-good attitude and contributing to a town and being connected to a town. I think that's important. I hope I qualify for that.
Thank you to Karen for her wonderful insight into Falmouth's daughter, Catherine Lee Bates.
And now moving on, the human-occupied submersible Alvin is ready to return to scientific research at its newly certified maximum depth of 4 miles.
Here's a look back at Alvin's science verification from the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution.
In normal, starboard aft. Pins in, toes clear. Normal, starboard aft. Good.
Launch coordinator bridge, you have permission to launch the sub.
Roger that, bridge. You guys ready?
You get into the water and all of a sudden you can feel it moving with the ocean, and then you see blue all around you, and it's just an amazing feeling.
Everyone's really excited to have Alvin back. It's been a key part of our science in the deep ocean, and on this expedition we're trying to build up tools that are going to help people who've never used the sub before learn how it works, plan expeditions, and complete excellent science.
Every 5 years or so, Alvin gets upgraded, and this was a major upgrade that allows us to go deeper, not only deeper into the depths of the ocean, but deeper into our scientific questions.
We really want Alvin to be accessible to everyone. So we've brought out a group of early career scientists from different backgrounds, different locations, different career stages, and really tried to show them how they could use Alvin in their future research.
Diving in Alvin was incredible. It gave me a better idea of spatial scale, so of the three-dimensionality of these deep sea habitats. And in making that transect with Alvin, you're able to experience the environment that these organisms live in much more authentically, so you can understand how they're interacting with one another and how they're interacting with that environment.
We brought things up and did experiments out here that were not envisioned when we started. But once we saw it could go to the depth, it could do it quickly, it could do it really well. I mean, we were going 54 meters a minute to the seafloor, which I've never seen before.
You know, we launch the sub and we go down 6 kilometers beneath the surface, and that's something that hasn't happened in Alvin's 50-year history. We came out of a certification set of dives and went straight into doing more science verification dives, and the sub is performing remarkably well. Day in and day out, it's going 4 miles deep.
It's a really smooth operation. It requires a lot of communication, a lot of discussion. It's a huge team effort out here. From the science party to the Alvin team to the ship's crew, everyone's been working really hard to make this cruise a success. It's been really phenomenal to see how everyone comes together to achieve what we wanted to out here.
We are now again on the frontier of what we can ask, and the rates at which we can just make discoveries are going to go through the roof.
That team of scientists spent the past 3 weeks taking the iconic sub through its paces at locations at the Puerto Rico Trench and Mid-Cayman Rise. Thanks to Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution for that coverage.
And now FCTV wants to remind you that television can be as easy as hitting record on your smartphone.
We'd like to invite all Falmouth residents and visitors to share their slice of life with us. Email us your photos and videos or upload them to Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram using the hashtag MyFalmouth or Falmouth in Focus to be featured on the show. Thank you to our most recent contributors.
We'll leave you now with the sights and sounds of sunset at Salt Pond, sent by Elaine Arbin. Thank you for watching Falmouth in Focus. We'll see you next time.